Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. It's time to look ahead to the waiver wire for the week with me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia. Of course, with me is the Welsh. And let's start here with a guy getting the call again from AAA. Chandler Simpson did nothing wrong the first time. I don't know what the problem the Rays have. Maybe they're just being cheap. But you know what? The Rays are in it now. And Chandler Simpson is back, and he has been stealing bases, doing everything he possibly can for the Rays at AAA. And now he's getting another opportunity. He was optioned to Durham in late May after he was posting a .285 batting average. No homers, of course, but 19 steals, 17 runs in 35 games. And now it's an opportunity for him to rebound again, come back here, and, hopefully continue to give us more stolen bases because, Welsh, when you look at where he's at currently, he is still available in 50% of CBS leagues. A lot of teams had no choice but to drop him, but if you're looking for help in steals, it's time to be aggressive for Chandler Simpson if he's out there.
I think like points leagues you're going to see the devaluation because, stolen bases don't mean as much. He has no power potential. He doesn't register on RBIs. The positive is he doesn't strike out. He, even in that time, and that was the weirdest thing about the send down is there was real world baseball, like defensive metrics, WAR versus what we got in fantasy. And as fantasy owners, we're like, why are we sending down this guy that's hitting like almost 280 and stealing all the bases and getting hits? Like, why? And it's like, well, because he's not doing a whole lot else. But for fantasy, he is covering some of those markers. And if he hits at the top of the lineup, I love it. The low K percentage is phenomenal. Tons of hits. He's a ground ball hitter that's just going to get on base and steal a ton. So, maybe there's like caveats to it, but in my eyes, like he's just a must pickup. Like he is a deficit in the home run department, but I think he's a no doubt player that you want to get on your roster. I would not let him be 51% in any format.
No.
Picking him up across the board because guess what? We are still valuing stolen bases in a world where, Corbin Carroll, when he was on, he wasn't stealing bases really. Ronald Acuna's not stealing them. We're just not getting that same level of some of the guys we expect. So I think a lot of us would probably still have that need. So go pick up Chandler Simpson.
Head-to-head roto leagues, especially in a short week, this guy can have 4 by himself.
Yeah,
win you a week. That's the format for him for sure.
Like Ellie from last year, like he can win the week
right
for you alone.
Yeah, Casey Schmitt, the next guy on their list, we're going to talk about today. Just 13% roster. We're really digging deeper on these next couple of ones here. He's a guy that, depending on your league rules, could qualify almost everywhere in the infield. So he's filling in for Matt Chapman now, and with Tyler Fitzgerald getting sent down, it looks like Schmitt is actually clearing a path for himself. He's was up last year, had some mixed reviews, but so far this year in 33 games for the Giants, 4 home runs, 15 RBI, hitting .284. To me, at this point, Welsh, it's just a matter of, is he an interesting depth piece, especially if you're in any format with daily transactions where Schmitt qualifies in so many different spots potentially. To me, that's a very useful piece if you're willing to manage it out. So I think Schmitt is worth a speculation. What do you think?
I love this one. My only hesitation has been like, how do they make it work when, when Chapman back, it's Chapman, Adames, you've got potentially Devers at first, you got Wilmer Flores in there, but you know what? Like, because Casey Schmitt, I believe, has registered the entire infield this year, they can just plop him into a spot. I don't know if it'll be full time.
Days off, let Devers just DH even,
Yeah, I mean, if Devers wants to DH and you want to put Wilmer at first, then you can have Casey Schmitt play second. Like, you can do this stuff. And the reason I love this so much in that it looks like the hope is a lot greater that he can stay on the field. And his profile is just phenomenal right now. His 10% barrel, almost 50% hard hit rate. He's walking almost 10% of the time. He's getting the ball in the air. And if you look on, he's not qualified, but you go into Baseball Savant from a slider perspective, he's tops of the league in like expected WOBA, expected batting average, expected slug. He's got that nice launch angle sweet spot, so he's hitting it perfectly. Like, there's a lot of things that are in favor. It kind of reminds me of an NL Addison Barger, how people are treating Addison Barger. Schmitt kind of has that, but he has less of a path for people. So maybe get the next Addison Barger and Casey Schmitt.
I like that a lot. That's actually a really good comp there. Next guy on our list is another one under 20% roster, Tyler Freeman, who came over to the Rockies in a trade with the Guardians earlier in the season. And over his last couple games here, starting to get really hot, hitting .292 over that span with 2 stolen bases in the last week. That's what you're looking for. He's got 9 steals on the year, hitting .327. He qualifies at shortstop and outfield, depending on your league eligibility rules. And look, at this point, you're looking for bats, and I think the Rockies are also ready to make some hard decisions. You imagine they're going to be trading off some pieces too, so more opportunities going to open up where things are going to get a little less crowded in Colorado come the end of July. Maybe Ryan McMahon's gone, maybe even somebody else. So I could see looking at this next player, Tyler Freeman, is another guy that might be worth a deeper league speculative ad. But what do you think?
Yeah, I think he's like CVS Jacob Wilson. You know what I mean? Like that's where he looks right now. Really low strikeouts, decent.
So his
walk.
receipt is really long.
Yeah, 100%.
Huge receipt.
Yeah, well, and Colorado boosts him a little bit. So, like, imagine Jacob Wilson there. So it just kind of has some feels of that. The hitting profile isn't super sexy, but he is walking more than he's striking out right now. He is stealing some bases. And, I think another guy you could look at, he wasn't on our list, but like Mickey Moniak, they've got a couple guys that, whether they're going to move off pieces, assuming Ryan McMahon gets traded, like Tyler Freeman should have the season just completely in front of him to run with it. And it's just a good contact profile. So, you got to be careful about it. He'll probably rank even higher. But again, you're hitting over 300. You got a little bit of homer equity. By the way, his homer came on the road, not even at home. So you might have a little bit more potential home run. And he steals a little bit more than a Jacob Wilson. So if he keeps up this profile, he might kind of be sneaky. And he's got even 12-team format potential on the middle infield. And he just needs to continue playing time. So yeah, I'm kind of into this one if you're chasing batting average and maybe runs.
I didn't put Moniak on the list because I still just don't believe in the player. That's my,
Sure.
just take on it. But I agree. If you're in a deeper league and you need outfield help, he might be one of those guys you could look at. We went through a list of those names, by the way, on Leading Off the other day. If you want to check that out, go watch Leading Off with Corbin Carroll's injury when that happened there and him going on the IL officially. We listed a bunch of, mid-level names that, might be out there in shallow leagues and even deeper names. But any port in a storm right now. And one more reminder, last week, a drag over. Christian Moore, second base from Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, just 28% roster. His roster percentage actually went down for some reason over the weekend. I don't know why. Maybe people picked him up and they said, he's not doing anything. And then yesterday he goes and he hits 2 home runs. But again, the patience level just not there. So this is more of just a public service announcement. I don't know if there's anything else you want to add to Christian Moore, but again, second base is not exactly, the best out there in terms of offensive productivity. If you could stash a guy who might figure it out as the season goes on, then Christian Moore is one of those guys you want to have on your roster.
I think that's the big thing is like if you believe he can figure it out. The negative is he's got multi-strikeout games in 3 of his last 5, and his strikeout rate's really high. But the positive is he does have hits in 5 of his last 7 games, and you can see the home run potential. He's barreling the ball. He's just not hitting it quite hard enough, but he's getting it in the air. I think this is a guy that is going to figure it out during the season. And like, I'd rather have him over, Tyler Freeman. And that's me chasing a little bit more. I think there's 3 categories that he can really push me for, where I think Tyler Freeman is kind of a 2-category guy. But yeah, I'm betting on talent. And I think we've seen a pretty good track record of a lot of these prospects getting a little bit of time, figuring it out. Post All-Star break, Christian Moore is going to be a guy to pick up, but he's hitting under 200. And I think that's why the average or the numbers, the percentages and stuff still look low on some of the sites.
All right, before we turn our attention to the arms to add this week, the waiver assistant is out there to help you with all the additions to your fantasy baseball team. Just sync your league for free and receive personalized messages and waiver wire suggestions tailored to your roster and your league settings. You can quickly see who the available players are in all of your leagues just in the one app. So sync all your leagues for free. Manage them with My Playbook. Go to fantasypros.com/MLB My Playbook or just download the Fantasy Baseball My Playbook app today to get advantage on the waiver wire and on all of your league mates all season long. Let's start with Eric Lauer of the Toronto Blue Jays. Qualifies at RP and SP, which is also one of those tricky things in those deeper leagues. We have mandatory RP spots. 19% rostered. He's been really good recently. Scherzer's back, but I think we have every reason to believe that if Lauer continues to pitch well, that he is going to stick in this rotation, Welsh. It's another strong outing for him. Just to get some context here, in June, he has a 1.70 ERA, a 1 whip, 21 strikeouts, just 7 walks in 21 innings. And it's not like he didn't have mild success at times with the Milwaukee Brewers, too. So Lauer looks like a guy that I think in deeper leagues, if you're looking for pitching, and everybody is, you might want to throw on to your waiver wire or start to throw some fab at.
I remember he did this a couple years ago when he was, I think it was with the Brewers, and he had this like he was one of the highest four-seam fastball K percentages in baseball, and he was just like getting it done. And he's kind of doing that again. The fastball looks phenomenal. Batting average against is under 200. And by the way, he throws it like 92 miles an hour. It has a 33% K percentage, which is also not sustainable, but it looks just really good. And it's setting up some of these other pitches where curveball is an expected 142 batting average against. The slider is an expected essentially 200. The only thing they're getting to is a cutter right now. So you got 3 of 4 pitches that are getting outs. His K percentage is the highest of his career. His walk percentage is one of the lowest. Even the expected ERA is in the 3.5s. Like, there's a lot of great stuff here. He should stick in. He's been a really great streamer. I think he's moving out of that streaming range to, like, yeah, maybe you do want to hold. There might be some regression coming, but that fastball has been so good. And I think he's floating in that, like, lower, just hold on in deeper leagues to get some of those starts.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Another guy, too, to talk about, Frankie Montas. I don't know what's in the water in Queens, man. This guy was dreadful in his rehab starts. I had zero hope, and somehow he had the Braves held down for 5 scoreless innings. I can't tell you why. The velocity's up. Everything looks better. Maybe he's just working out the kinks and just working on stuff. I don't know, just throwing fastballs. I didn't watch the rehab starts. I just saw the 12 ERA, and that was enough to scare the crap out of me. But the Mets need pitching. They spent on Frankie Montas. He's not going anywhere in that rotation. To me, all those reasons are enough to invest in him and just wait and see. I don't know if I want to start him necessarily right away again. Maybe I want to see one more good start, but I think it's worth speculating now because if he has one more good start, the price is going to go up.
Yeah, that's probably a good way to put it. I mean, the Mets have just really done a good job, and as far as their major league and lower level minor league pitching development, that probably has something to do with this velo increase that we're seeing. That's the weirdest thing that you mentioned, and I completely agree. It's like he was throwing 95 last year. He's up to 96, or at least in this start.
96.8?
Yeah, and his sinker, a full mile per hour higher as well. So I think there's something there. I think he got away with some stuff in this start, 40% pull rate on him. So we're going to have to, continue to monitor. Walk rate was still really high, but let's see. I think Frankie Montas on this team context is a player that is worth picking up even out of the streamer range as well to see if it works. I think at the end of the day, this is probably going to be like a high 3, low 4 ERA guy, but he just might walk into some runs, and he looked good against a great team to start. So don't let him sit too long and potentially speculate.
Now, Didier Fuentes has another start today against the Mets. Again, as I'm recording this, we don't know how he's doing. The first start, you saw some glimpses out of him. 20 years old, still very young, still more of a spot starter right now for the Braves, but another guy that you might want to speculate on because Sale is going to be out for a while. And, if the Braves get stretched in that rotation, Fuentes could be a guy who could make a few more starts for Atlanta. But I want to focus our attentions to Janson Junk of the Miami Marlins. Now, you can laugh about the name all you want, but Junk right now is going to get an opportunity to stick in that Marlins rotation because Max Meyer is done for the year. Probably Alcantara and or Cabrera is going to get moved from that rotation. And Junk right now, I think if you, just kind of look around trying to find some depth of arms and you have so many injuries, I think it's worth maybe just throwing a couple bucks on him. He struck out 9 over his last 10 2/3 innings. Again, doesn't have a lot of success at the big league level, but opportunity is striking right now for him. He also has on the year in 27 innings, Welsh, 25 strikeouts and just 2 walks. If you're only going to strike out 25 guys and walk just 2 guys, I don't care who you are, it piques my interest, and I want to have him on my roster.
Yeah, and the context, too, is 6 starts he's only walked 2. So even outside of the innings, that's 6 starts he's walked 2. Another kind of interesting one, he had 1 bad outing. He gave up 5 earned runs. But all his other starts, his other 5 starts, he's given up less than that. So 1 outing had more earned runs given up than he had given up the entire season. The low walk rate is kind of what really gets me excited. This is another testament to the offseason video we did with Lance Brozdowski talking about just the system of how they're redeveloping. And you see a velo increase on the 4-seam fastball. You see he's actually added the sweeper in as a really high usage pitch, which is getting some outs. And I think the main thing you said is like, they're going to trade out some guys. There's going to be some potential rotation spots out there. And Janson Junk has actually been pretty decent. So I'm open to streaming him for sure.
All right. Outside of Chandler Simpson, these guys are not rostered in a lot of leagues. Lauer, 19%, Montas, 12%, Didier Fuentes, 10%, and Janson Junk, 4% of CBS leagues. So I don't want to hear the YouTube comments talking about, oh, these guys are all gone in my league. No, they're not. I can tell you, They're not. They're all available. But we do love your comments anyway. Drop them below, and you might win yourself a Cecil Fielder autographed jersey. We're giving that away this month from pristineauction.com. How do you win it? Like this video. Subscribe to the Fantasy Pros MLB channel. Drop your comments and ring the bell till it goes ding for more fantasy baseball goodness. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Happy hunting on the waiver wire.